We're looking to review the EiiEV today in this video. Let's get started. Welcome back to the channel, and as always, I feel very honored that you're watching this video. I want to take a minute and thank everyone who's watching my videos, be it this one specifically, be it another one on my channel. There are a bunch of other videos which might draw your attention, golf cart related, new energy related, and there's a lot of stuff with solar installation and especially with some hybrid inverter coming pretty soon. So in case you want to subscribe to the channel, do that. We'll review this battery today from EiiEV. I had to check it online again if it's called something else, but EiiEV. I don't know how you pronounce it. I'm very sorry if I mispronounce it. We'll look at this one. It's a 12.8 volt, 100 amp hour Group 31 housing battery. It's pretty heavy, so I'm curious what's inside, to be honest. And we'll check it out completely. So we want to do a teardown, we want to do a capacity test, we want to test if the protection, whatever protection comes with, does hold up to what's promised online. And that leads me to what's in the box. This user manual, which is blue, and you will see on the last page as well that the layout looks different. So they changed the design, I would say. That's what I assume here, which is totally fine and fair, and totally happy that they do that. So let's talk about the specification of this battery. You saw already, it's a Group 31. So these are the dimensions, and that's the weight as well. And they claim, and it looks like, if you ask me, that it will not have prismatic cells, it will have cylindric cells. We'll see, we'll take it apart. It has 100% BMS protection, that's what they call it. Overcharging, over-discharging, overcurrent, overheating. Extra BMS protections are moisture-proof, dust-proof, salt spray resistant. So I would assume that this one is like an IP67 housing. I don't see anything right away. I think I saw it somewhere. We can see that they advertise compatible with 30 to 70 pound thrust trolling motor. That's what they say here, at least in the 12 volt configuration. And they also say power up, explore more. This is good for RVs in case you want to do that. And yes, it does come with those caps. I totally forgot to mention those ones. Here's another picture of what's in the box. And that's pretty much it. What's good, I feel like, is definitely that they label up here. They call out the model number, they call out the rated voltage, rated capacity, energy, charge voltage, and recommended charge current, which is 0.25C, 25 amps. Looking at the manual, we can see that there is, besides that, the recommended charge current, protection circuit current, current consumption, max charge current is less than or equals to 100 amp, max continuous discharge current, same, less or up to 100 amp, and the pulse current, 300 amps up to 3 seconds, which should be the discharge, I would assume, or charge for only 3 seconds, ideally. And then there's a lot of information about temperature and whatnot. Charge low temperature. It does say on here on this page, page 7, it has charging high temperature protection and it has charging low temperature protection. So we'll check that out. It does not come with Bluetooth. We'll see what that means. That means let's just jump into that. I think I talked enough. Let's test the capacity. Alrighty, so here we are, exactly 100.58 amp hours. So I'm curious about the cells inside, so I guess we'll do the teardown and then we'll see what quality cells we are dealing with in this case, this battery. Let's continue with the video. EiiEV, let's see how far we can get. And again, as a reminder, on the battery itself it says recommended charge current 25 amp. And when we look at the specification, we can see standard, here continuous discharge current is 100 amp. Pulse current, which I assume is a discharge, is 300 amp. It doesn't state how long. Well, it looks like this is no problem at all. Let's see if we can go to maximum and what happens. It does not have an overcurrent protection, at least not configured properly for the recommended maximum discharge current of 100 amp. Well, I guess we could let this run for a little bit, but no need to do so. There's no overcurrent protection, at least above 100 or between 100 and 300 or 100 and 250. Keep that in mind. Let's move on. Well, now we've seen it does pass the capacity test slightly, which I'm a little bit disappointed. That means, yeah, we'll have to see the cells inside and BMS what it looks like to understand that better. I didn't see any advertisement in terms of grade A cells, but it was already visible in the picture that here again that it's cylindric cells and not prismatic cells. But it states here in the comment in the description, grade A plus lithium iron phosphate battery. Then we're back, and if I haven't told you, it's 4P 4S capable, so 4 in parallel, 4 in series, up to 20.48 kilowatt hour you can put together in one huge pack in case you want to do that as well. Because the price, and I didn't talk about it yet, the price, what I've seen here, it's nuts. At least the day of filming today in August, $108 for this entire pack. How is that even possible in the meantime with all those tariffs and whatnot going on? So this is insane. Alrighty, let's tear this thing apart and see what's inside. Alright, I got it out. You can already see here cylindric cells, not prismatic cells. And here's a close-up of the cell and everything else, so you understand actually what it looks like. And please pause at any second or minute you want to look at this. So we have hydraulic crimps over here, which is good to see. We have, which appears to be so we have a 4-gauge wire on the positive side, and I would assume this is 8-gauge. Not sure, it doesn't state it on here. I don't see it yet right away. But one thing which I realized immediately, it's a different BMS than what we used to, for sure. I have not seen this one, and it's very loose. The only thing what was holding it in are those high density forms, because that's where it pushed it down. You can see there was a glue blob on here, which is just pointing out there. So this is the side. We can see there's kind of temperature sensors, I don't know, going somewhere maybe not. Wait, here it is, this one. Right up here, so I have to see where it's, I think it's glued to here. I have to see if it goes in. Anyways, we see a lot of glue blobs here, basically an indication that it's the torque mark, that it doesn't get loose at all. Also for insulation maybe, not so much here on those terminals. But that's pretty much it. As soon as I take this off, we see those huge bus bars. It's, what is it called, fish paper something. And you can see it's kind of the protective insulator. And yeah, this BMS is slapped on top as well, very loose, as mentioned. And then we have solder blobs over here for the balance leads, which can get loose over time when it's too hot. Just saying. All right, and then, oh yeah, we can move this and wiggle this around. Alrighty, well, that's the battery pack. Let me flip this over really quick. Let me give you this view. Hope you can read it. Pause the video if you want to. Those are the cell informations. There's a plastic housing, by the way, around the entire pack. You can see that that's what's holding it in place. Let me set up our high temperature protection as well as the low temperature protection, since it's stated it would have low temperature protection in the manual, but not on Amazon. So let's see. All right, I set up the charger. You can see it back there. I'm focusing just on this one. So you see the 10.4 right now. That's what it's charging with right now. I'm using the heat gun. I have freed up the temperature sensor, which was just glued to two cells in between, which is good. It was touching. And we'll see when it triggers. It's a temperature sensor, unlike a temperature switch. So the temperature switch, the high temperature switch, usually it indicates or has even labeled 65 or 70 Celsius on it. This one's a probe. Usually it can go positive, but also, it can go high but also low. And depending on how the BMS is configured, it can trigger in both directions, high and low temperature protection during charging. So let's see. And it was very quick. It's already stopped. Let's cool down the temperature probe. There we go, it's charging again. Let's do the cold temperature protection as well, so I'm not too crazy in the picture. This is, yep, wow, that triggered very quick. So that has a very fast reaction time for sure. Let's see if it comes back, and I'll get the ice pack in the meantime because we don't have a Bluetooth, so I don't know which temperature it triggered. The duster is very cold, so that means we want to test it also with a more human temperature, which means 0. So here we are with the ice packs. Let's see. There we go. Let's see if it does trigger as well. It takes a little more time. The ice pack is usually between 0 Celsius and -7 Celsius. There we go. Very good. It has low temperature protection at a temperature at least which is not a duster, which means not -20 Celsius or 20 F. Very good. Awesome. Great to see that. That leaves me pretty much with my conclusion and my summary of this. Done with all the tests here. I do like that the BMS is capable of the low and high temperature protection. That is great. Cylindric cells, which barely passed the capacity test. I don't know about that part. I like the wires, I like the hydraulic rims. Those things are really good and outstanding. But, you know, the weight difference from cylindric cells to prismatic cells, let me know in the comment section below what you think about that. A couple things to improve, I feel like. Yeah, and Crate cells, I'm not sure about that. Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to know more about this. Thanks for watching. Cheers!